Time for another game of Spider and Olde Scooter. Welcome. Interesting night here in New Mexico, the mountains of New Mexico. One of our Airedales is acting a little spooky. Plus, we heard from a very credible neighbor that he found clear mountain lion, puma, footprints on his property, which is about half a mile from here. So, I think the dogs heard us read the story out loud, and it made one of them nervous. You may hear it in the distant background. You may not, of course, but there is very calming music playing, and that actually calms down the dogs. It drives me nuts, but short trip, as they say. Well, let's just to give you a taste of the ambience here. I don't want a resume game. I want a new game with 2 suits. All right, we'll just get started. If you're here for the game, you won't be disappointed. This artificial intelligence, Spider McGillicuddy, nay, Spider Mac, gave away $1, is a fierce competitor, and we play to the death. Sort of an inside-out kickback. Too bad. Oh well. McGillicuddy is... No. Gave away another $1. My cure myself by singing trip isn't really working. That, for you newcomers, will explain itself eventually, as everything always does. I play the game for relaxation. I play it for calming. I play it for distraction from all the news. My goodness, the news today. Don't even talk about it, Scooter. You'll get all upset. And the idea here is to get all relaxed, laid back, ready for bed. So I'm trying to produce a soporific thing. Sleepy time twitch for the senior citizens. I'm 80. I figure people within 10, 15 years of me, say 65 to 90, might sort of enjoy seeing one of their peers play a perfectly wonderful game. I'm not actually complimenting you personally. This game is available in multiple platforms. Microsoft probably most prolifically. That's how I got into it. So we'll take a deal. The object is to get all the cards up here, which is a fairly difficult situation, and it allows you a lot of contemplation as you go. I tend to have profound thoughts while playing, and then they come out of my mouth, and you get to say, wow, that's profound. Right. Okay, this is a hole. Newcomers, I love holes. It's kind of a wild card. Any legal play can go to that hole. I could do this, right? Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. Or I'll tell your mother. I play sort of slow because, the old cognition machinery has gone into pre-hibernation, I think. So I'm not as swift some nights as others, but I try not to push it ever because you miss moves and you go back and see it and you think, hey, that was stupid to miss that move. So take your time, relax. What's the race about? I do have to finish this game in less than 15 minutes, this nifty program that we're using here. What's the name of it? They deserve a plug. Screencast-O-Matic. And I'm using their cheapest version, and it has a 15-minute limit, which seems fair. Anybody who spends more than 15 minutes on one game of Spider Solitaire needs to be sent back to the home. Remember Jonathan Winters and The Home? Boy, he was good. Dead now, alas, as all we will be. The trick, the aggressive thing to do is try desperately to use up these cards. The thin blue line, I call it. The ready reserve. Spider Mac, the AI down here, is treating them as virtual inventories. This is my personal opinion. I have not talked to the programmers. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it sure seems obvious to me. She gets weaker as you eat up her thin blue line. I do have sympathy for her fixation on playing this semi-dishonest game she plays from her vantage point, where she controls everything, because it's all she has to do. It's her whole, well, I guess she doesn't have a life. It's her whole existence. Or maybe it is a life. Dashing along, and suddenly finding ourselves trapped in a cul-de-sac. A terrifying thought. I don't see any more moves. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. What am I talking about? I guess that's kind of a move. It's expensive. It's on top of, well, this is not a great stack. Nothing, not many sequentials. 3 at the most. So, no big. I'll just do it. I already did it, actually. See, that's our nervous dog. Something's out there. We live way out in the country, way out. Our next neighbor is across this huge canyon, distant, high-powered binocular relationship. Hi! We have a neighbor in this direction. I have to get the hand on camera for you to see what I'm doing. That way. About 300 yards, maybe. That's pretty far. Trees in between. So it's quite isolated here. Incredible that in America today, a man of modest means could live out of the wonders of the mountains of New Mexico. So, the state itself has all kinds of trouble, but there are all kinds of beauties and wonders and marvels and silence and dark skies and good stuff. If you're an old guy and you don't have to run all over the country trying to make a living, this is good stuff. Oh, yes. Well, we have one deal left. We have no holes punched, no score. I'm getting all sentimental about the state. I mean, this should either put you to sleep or at least make you very, very relaxed. My nose is talking to me. Oh, well. This has gotten... Oh, see, if you just, if you're in a real analytical frame of mind and your brain is working all over, you can kind of whiz through this game. But why? Relax, enjoy it, look for moves. See, that's not far from a score. It's a queen string. I call these sequential stacks until they got a ace on the bottom, and then they're a string. So it's a queen string, only a king away from a score, or as I sometimes say, score! Huh. See, okay, so I really would like to get my hole back so I can clean up this king-queen here, move the jack over, and pow. Wouldn't that be nifty? Had our meeting this afternoon of the Mansa Men. I think I may have mentioned it before. A group of us old codgers, except today there were a couple of young codgers, or there's always sort of this middle-ish young codger that comes occasionally, but a real young guy, 22 years old, in a room full of 70, 80-year-old guys, talking politics. This is a really bright young man named Corey, and he is an artist and an artisan, and his field is neon lights. And he wants to go spend some time in Asia because of the fantastic amount and creativity of neon lights. You've seen the pictures of, heaven knows, Tokyo, but all kind of the Philippines and Hong Kong and Singapore and various places with unbelievable amounts and creativity. Lulu is not, no, Yoko is. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Lulu is not the one who was worried about the mountain lion. Lulu is our old girl, 10 years old. I'll have to pause for a minute. Pop, magic. Earphones gone. Headlamp on. Well, that's using the capacity of this Screencast-O-Matic to stop and start. First time I've ever done it. I'm committed not to edit this silly thing we do here. But that, I guess, is kind of an edit. Every once in a while, one of our dogs just mysteriously disappears. We have sort of a house full of hidey holes, and so they get hided and freaks us out, so we'll have to go find the dog. And that was the case. So I took off my earphones, put on my Takina. Yes, that's the model name. I forget the brand, but it'll come to me. It always does. I could take it off and read it, but I won't. So we're at 12 minutes. I got to hurry up and finish this game. A little domestic excitement here. What I'm trying to do is either see, stand by for sort of embarrassed. Score! Yeah, I was fighting to come over here and get this thing out. There was the king sitting right beside me. That's why you don't play too fast. Or you get up occasionally to go find a lost dog, and that gives you new perspective. So now I'm $10 ahead. $5.50 to break even, $5.50 to $500 to get in. So I'm now over the break-even point. The house is not going to make quite as much money from me this time. We got 3/8, then I can come back at 9, and a jack would then not go anywhere. I just went through this process in my mind. Right? I can do this. But beyond that, it's not a very promising tactic. I try one other track, but it's really not worth it. A lot of effort. Very little likelihood of scoring again. I don't have any long stacks. So I'll just do the sort of obligatory last moves, as I'm committed to do. Or now I'm only $4 ahead, but as long as there's anything to do, I'll try to do it. I can do that. And I can't move that or that. So, boys and girls, I think that's it. This has been one of the weirder ones. On another game, I'll tell you more about the Mansa Man meeting. It's fascinating, and if you're not doing something like it, you probably could have fun doing it. So, if you see any mountain lions, tell them we've heard about him over here in New Mexico, and give them a friendly scratch behind the ears. I'm sure they love that.